There's something special about a story. Stories highlight the details of personal experience that weave through the fabric of life. They allow us to relive memories and make connections between the past, present, and future. Stories unmask history and reveal emotion. They captivate and connect us and remind us of where we've been. Since 2009, Chippewa Manor's Veteran Salute has been telling stories with video. We've seen veterans through the eyes of a child. We've heard firsthand accounts from the greatest generation, those who served in World War II. We've reminisced with warriors of the forgotten conflict in Korea. We've chronicled the emotional angst of the silent ranks, those who were married or engaged to men serving overseas. We've been introduced to the pilots of the Missing Man Flyover Formation. We've told our story, sharing why we celebrate. And we've learned what it was like to be among those pioneering women first to serve in the U.S. military. As we take a moment to reflect on 10 years of veteran salutes, we honor and remember those who have sacrificed and served. And we look back at some of the engaging stories, those memories, highlighting links that bridge lifetimes, those moments captured in time, those stories that we've helped to tell along the way.
In the 1940s, when citizens of the United States of America were drafted or volunteered to serve in some branch of the armed forces, he or she was often leaving home for the very first time.
I didn't know what to expect. And I thought, well, maybe it's just going to be a short term, but it turned to be 4 years.
I really wanted to get away from home and get out and see the world. I really basically wanted to see the world. And the war was important, but I wanted to go out and see what was going on.
Well, I guess a kid, it was real excitement, and I look forward to become a flyer.
I was 22. Yeah.
Long time ago.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above.
Among those brave ladies who served in the American military during the Second World War are two current tenants at Chippewa Manor Residential Living, Joan Hebert LaRue and Bernice Borden. Another tenant, Mary Ann Rogstad, served in the Navy Waves during the early 1950s. With their dedication to duty and willingness to serve however they were needed, these ladies played a valuable role, setting the standard for generations to come.
Well, I wanted to do something for my country. And I just kept thinking, what am I doing here? Why can't I do something to help my country? And so one night after work, I went down to the recruiting board, took the test and signed up.
Every life is like a book. There are chapters, plot twists, characters, and conflict, each uniquely fashioned to unveil personal journeys that tell the tales of a lifetime. While each story is distinctive, our life narratives often follow shared paths, roads jointly traveled, through treacherous terrain and valleys of shadows. It's here where collective experience and the singular soul bond. Such are the stories of soldiers, airmen, sailors, Marines, and Guardsmen. Nearly 6 million Americans served in the armed forces during the 3-year period of the Korean War, but fateful timing and circumstances have left this difficult period of history buried in a fog. Korea was dubbed the Forgotten War by U.S. News and World Report just months after it began in 1950. In reality, though, Americans did not so much forget the Korean War as never think about it at all. A war-weary nation turned attentions back to their own lives after World War II, ignoring the conflict raging a half-world away.
You know, bringing all this back is not easy.
It was a great experience. I mean, I hated the thought of going, didn't really thought, you know, you're sitting in Camp Stoneman waiting for your ship to arrive to take you to Korea, and you're saying to yourself, what am I really doing?
And I'm glad I did it, and I think it helped me in my training in life.
Korea was a testing ground. The communists invaded South Korea to see if the free world had enough gumption to stand up to them.
As it turned out, I wouldn't have missed it for the world. Combat is something that if you have never been there, it's no way you can know. It's impossible.
This is a story about friends, flying, and freedom, and how that combination has helped honor veterans and their families for nearly a decade. Since 2010, Chippewa Manor has been remembering veterans by including a missing man formation flyover at the conclusion of its annual Veteran Salute. The flyover provides a powerful visual tribute. Its origins are nearly a century old, dating back to the first use of planes in combat. It's a somber, moving ritual, and it's one that a group of Chippewa Falls-based aviators have adopted as their way of saying thank you.
I guess after we disperse, it's like, wow, that was great. I hope it's as good for them as it was for us.
Once we do the pull-up, and you kind of look back, once I don't have to worry about, we kind of slack off a little bit and I can look back. Then, you know, it sends shivers down your back. It's just a good feeling.
It's just a physical representation, just like taps or the folding of the flag, trying to give our own little 2 cents worth of honoring when that moment happens, when that guy pulls up.
Well, I hope they realize that the veterans are an important part of our past, and there are people that want to honor them every year on their day. And I hope when people see the flyover, they realize that veterans still hold an important part.
It's giving back to people that did a lot for us and made it able that we're able to do this.
And if we can bring some joy and you know, some happiness to the veterans down below, that means a lot.
That's the reason we do it, is to say thank you. We're not doing it so that we can go out and show off. We're doing it because we want to give something back to those veterans and to let them know that their sacrifices weren't forgotten.
Heard of Veterans Day?
Yes.
Can you tell me what it's all about?
I don't know that. I'm not sure. I've only been to the Veterans Day parade, so I don't know. I really don't know, honestly.
Okay.
If I had to, it would take me a while to think about it because I don't think I'm one of the world's fastest thinkers, but
it honors all of the soldiers who help America.
I think it's to honor the soldiers who fought in the war. Oh yeah, Veterans Day is we celebrate when the soldiers who fought for us and to keep our freedom, not have anybody take it away from us.
Well, a veteran is like someone who works in the army and helps our country, and
it's a person that fights in the army. I do know some veterans.
Tell me about that.
My grandpa is a veteran. He served in World War II. He was in a aircraft-ish thing that blew up, and he didn't die.
They didn't carry a weapon or wear a uniform. They weren't drafted or enlisted. But few have been more loyal or committed to the cause of the United States Armed Forces. They were brave, independent, and resilient. They were the silent ranks. The young women married or engaged to the men defending freedom. They kept the home fires burning, and as need demanded, sometimes brought home along with them.
I just went from day to day. What will be, will be. I just did it.
We made it. I guess I just never gave it a thought.
I guess you just learn to live with it when something like that is going on.
I wouldn't do it over. It was terribly hard.
The 1940s saw monumental cultural shifts for Americans. Young people, and women in particular, entered courtship younger and married quicker as the laws of attraction overcame the obstacles of youth, distance, and military service.
We got engaged before he went to OCS. That's for 6 months, and when he came home a week later, we got married. So my courtship, there wasn't very long.
I met him in August of 1944. We got married in April of 1947. The first Christmas he was home after the service, I got an engagement ring.
I met my husband in high school in our junior year, and we started going together, and we were married in 51.
Well, after high school, he went into service, and it was not wartime yet at that time, but he came home at furlough and gave me a ring, and then I said yes. He was a good-looking man.
I had about 6 dates with my husband before we got married. I thought he was a pretty handsome guy.
Hero. Service, honor.
Pride.
Honorable. Courage.
Stoic.
Said goodbye to their families.
Sacrifice. Saluting.
The American flag. Patriotic.
Many of them did not return.
Uniform. Respect.
I can't help but think of POWs.
Dedication. Freedoms.
Laid it on the line.
Responsibility. I can't help but think of missing in action. And we have to keep the faith and hope that they will return.
Still remember coming back from overseas, and of course they play Lee Greenwood song, and it really stirs a little bit of a feeling, you know, when you're gone for a length of time like that, and then you're coming back to stateside, and you really appreciate, you know, everything that we have in this country. You can't appreciate what we have until you've been elsewhere.
Honoring those that served our country, that were in our nation's uniforms.
Celebrating the ones who have died and served for us.
Honoring and saying thank you to the veterans who have served.
We are remembering those folks, also those that are here with us, and trying to give our thanks to them for what they gave in their service in our country.
We're honoring people that have served for our country, to serve for our freedom and our flag, everything that it represents.
This is the one day of the year that, you know, we set aside just to honor our veterans, basically so we don't forget.